Next point, your heart. Remember we spoke about the heart? The heart is the fourth bhava, right? Which is the graha now which signifies the heart? It is sun, which is the graha which signifies the heart. So write down, if the fourth from sun, if the fourth from sun is afflicted, then this person will have a heart-related ailment, will have a heart-related ailment, and will take medication for the same. Again, I'm repeating. If the fourth from sun is afflicted, will have a heart-related ailment, and will take medication pertaining to the same. So all those who have heart-related issues, immediately where your attention should go to, see the fourth bhava lord getting into a balavina, that fear will be there. But will it go or will it lead to that? Immediately you need to get into the upavidhi, right? Everybody who has a fourth bhava lord does not have a heart attack. Everybody who has a fourth bhava lord does not need to not get married at the right time. One example, somebody just told, one of the students, right? But where is it? Immediately you need to get into the deeper layers. So if the fourth from sun is afflicted, immediately you should say, you know what? Yes, there is something pertaining to the heart. So let us say the fourth from sun, wherever sun is placed in the horoscope, the fourth bhava from where sun is placed in the horoscope, let us say we have a Ashubha Graha, right? Let us say you have a Shani, you have a Ketu. Immediately, it should give you a clarity that yes, there is a problem pertaining to the heart, and there would be medication also pertaining to the heart. Next, when those who have questions, just write down those questions so that I complete all the rules. Are very, very, very important, my respected students. So please write down the rules. I'm always there to sort out all your questions. I will give you the opportunity to ask questions. When the fourth and the eighth, when the fourth and the eighth from sun are afflicted, then there is a surgery pertaining to the heart. Then there is a surgery pertaining to the heart. See, what is it that you need to understand now? The fourth from sun afflicted. Okay, there is a problem with the heart. You will take this medicine, that medicine, you will go on. But if the fourth and eighth from the heart are from the sun, are afflicted, then immediately it should come to your mind that yes, there is a surgery pertaining to the heart. So immediately, if somebody is coming to you with a heart-related ailment, you should use these rules to predict. These are the golden rules. These are the diamond rules. These are whatever word you want to put beyond that you put, but you won't get such type of rules, ways to predict, the patience in which the way you're being taught anywhere else. That is a guarantee, warranty, right? You run around the whole world and come also. So make use of it. Now, cast a horoscope. All of you cast a horoscope. Let's study this with an example. See, remember what I'm doing here is I'm not using a lagna to predict, right? I'm telling you fourth from sun, fourth and eighth from sun. So a lagna is not really required. But just for the convenience of people in the northern part of India, let me just put a lagna. But I'm not considering the lagna, right? I'm just going to be predicting using the graha, right? Because I'm telling 4th from the sun, right? I'm telling 8th from the sun. So just for your convenience, for people in the northern part of India, you can put it as Simha Lagnam. Okay. In the South Indian horoscope, I'm not going to put a Lagna here because it is not required, right? Because just the Graha itself, and when we are predicting, the Graha himself becomes the Bhava, which means in this case, we are talking about heart-related ailments. So immediately, wherever sun is, from sun, I would start considering that as the Lagna. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put sun in Vrishabha. So, and you can put Shani Bhagavan in Mithuna. You can put Shani Bhagavan in Mithuna. You can put Ketu Bhagavan in Tulam. Put Ketu Bhagavan in Tulam. And you can put Guru Bhagavan in Makaram. You can put Guru Bhagavan in Makaram. Okay. Now, all of you, now you need to help me out. The 4th from sun. Who's the 4th from sun? Which Rashi is the 4th from sun?
Simha.
Simha Rashi.
Simha Rashi ruled by sun, which indicates heart itself. Okay. So how is the 4th from sun? How is he? Is he good? Is he bad? Can you help me out?
It's got aspect of Saturn and association of Ketu.
Okay. All of you, one by one, tell me. One by one.
Yes. 4th from sun is Leo. The Lord is sun. Sun is sitting Digbali. It's strong.
Sir, Jupiter is aspecting it, sir.
Yes.
Jupiter is aspecting it. Okay. Anybody else? Go on. Whatever you're telling is correct.
So may I?
Yes, ma'am. Go ahead, ma'am.
So the 4th Bhava from Sun has got 3rd aspect of Shani Dev and the 3rd association of Ketu Dev. So 4th from Sun is afflicted.
Yeah.
That's all. Simple. We need to make predictions. Don't complicate. Okay, all of you. Good, ma'am. Very good. 4th from sun. 2 malefic grahas are associated. One is aspecting. Both of them are aspecting. Again, for new students, Rahu Ketu, Rahu Bhagavan, Ketu Bhagavan. Don't tell aspect. Immediately they will start laughing at you. Tell Ketu influences. If you don't believe me, check out. That is the way you should teach people. So Ketu Bhagavan is also aspecting Simha, right? Shani Bhagavan is also aspecting Simha. So is it afflicted? Yes, all of you? Yes?
Yes.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay, so there is heart ailment. He's going to take medication for the heart. Okay. Now, how is the 8th from sun?
It is also afflicted. Saturn Ketu aspect.
How is the 8th from sun?
Saturn Ketu, same sir.
Saturn
afflicted.
Ketu, same.
So, the 8th from sun, first what you need to see is you have a Nicha Graha. Remember, I introduced Nicha Grahas as a concept for you. See, I told you Batakas, I told you Mandi, I told you Combust Graha. I also told you Nicha Graha, right? So, obviously, we have, sorry, just a minute. See, the 8th from sun, the Lord of 8th from sun is getting into a Nicha. Am I correct, all of you? Now you're clear with me?
Yes, sir.
All of you? He is getting into a weakening position. Am I correct? All of you, if you're not clear,
Yes.
please tell me.
Yeah.
And here, we need to see this again. The 4th is also afflicted. The 8th is also afflicted. But you also need to keep this in mind. There is a drishti of Guru. So immediately, it should come to your mind that there is a problem pertaining to the heart. There is a medication pertaining to the heart, right? But there is also a surgery also pertaining to the heart. This is also that needs to come to your mind, right? Why? Because the eighth bhava from sun getting into an incha. Again, always when you look at drishtis for Rahu Ketu 311. So again, the influence of Ketu is also there. So immediately it should come to your mind that yes, there is a problem pertaining to what? The heart, both in terms of medication and surgery. All right. The aspect of Ketu, sorry, the aspect of Guru, even though he is getting into a debilitation, aspect is an aspect. Maximum what you can tell is, yes, there is a good or a possible chance of recovery. All of you clear on this point? All of you, yes?
Yes, sir.
Does anybody
Yes,
have
sir,
a
yes.
doubt?
Yes, sir.
Next. Next. When the fourth bhava, when the fourth bhava, when the fourth bhavadipati, both, right? Either of them, both, whatever, is afflicted, then they will reside in the outer areas of the town. Outer areas of the town. So you will have towns and cities where you would have the outer developmental areas. City has become big. Beyond this, we cannot accommodate people in the city, or beyond this, we cannot grow the city. So what the city will do, what the government would do, they would take the outer areas and start developing those places. So those who have a weak fourth bhava in the horoscope, right? The fourth bhava lord afflicted, or the fourth bhava lord afflicted, they will be living in the extension areas of the city, town, or they will be living on the bypass road. These are points to write, my respected students. So those who have the fourth bhavadipati or afflicted, they will live in the outer extension areas of the city, or will be living on a bypass road. They will be the people who will say, sir, I was the first person who, when they started putting a plot here, I was the first person who came here, who built my house. Then later on, other people came. That is how they would say. So, fourth, immediately bypass surgery is also there. Bypass road is also there. So, this is the logic. Immediately you can connect. When the fourth bhava afflicted, it can lead to, you know what? You staying in the bypass road. Again, the fourth bhava afflicted, immediately your mind should also go to, all right, let me see sun. The fourth from sun afflicted. The eighth from sun afflicted. Both of them afflicted. Then bypass surgery is there. Predict. Right. Next. When the fourth bhava is getting into a bala, when the fourth bhava is getting into a bala, then their house will be surrounded by houses. Their house will be surrounded by houses. They will be living in the center of the place, center of the city, center of the town, center of the street. The center will come. Which means, let's say you tell this person to build a house somewhere. It could be anywhere. You tell them to build a house. Just in a matter of time, wherever he builds a house, that place will become a bazaar. That place will become a bazaar, because ultimately you have to be surrounded by houses. Next. 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 Now onwards, all of you can unmute, interrupt yourself only for whatever I'm talking. This is a doubt, sir. That is a doubt, sir. Right? Don't go to advanced question. Don't go to irrelevant questions. Don't go to out of topic questions. So all of you can unmute from now onwards whenever you have a doubt. Otherwise, don't unmute yourself. When the fourth from Mars is occupied by a Shubha Graha, the Jataka will have properties. The Jataka will have properties. Right? You have Mars. Check the fourth from Mars. Immediately you can say, sir, you have properties. Don't worry. Sir, you have land. Don't worry. Next. When the fifth from Mars is getting into a Bala, See, always keep this in mind. Bala means what? A Shubha Graha is there. Who's there? A Guru can be there. Who's there? A Surya Bhagavan can be there. Who's there? A Shukra Bhagavan can be there. This is what I mean by a Bala. Does it only mean he has to be there, sir? No. An aspect is also considered as a Bala. Right? Does it only mean that, sir? Exaltation in its own sign. Right? Getting into the trines, all of that is Bala. But from where? Not from the Lagna, from Mars. This is what I'm trying to tell you. Okay? Because now the Graha which we are using in order to go about and predict, that becomes the Lagna. Okay. So when the fifth from Mars gets into a Bala, will have more properties. Will have more properties. Will have more properties. Okay. So now, fifth from Mars, Shubha Grahas, more properties. So what is the difference, respected sir, respected ma'am? See, the fourth from Mars, if he is getting into a Bala, you can tell one or two properties will be there. If the fifth from Mars is getting into a Bala, then additionally you can say 4-5 properties will be there. 4-5 properties will be there. See, these are the people who will buy land, who will get land, who will get subsidies from the government to get land, who will get support from the government to get land. They will be living in temple properties, properties which were owned by temples. All of this will come. Right? Living in quarters, government quarters. You can also add when the fifth from Mars is getting into a Bala, will have vehicles. Will have vehicles. Some people in this category, they will come in this government vehicles. You have the government vehicles, they will come in the government vehicles. So immediately it should come to your mind, right? Fourth from Mars Bala, properties are there. Fifth from Mars, okay, even better. More properties are there. Again, something to do with government support. See, the moment you take a loan from a nationalized bank and the nationalized bank comes to you to give you a loan, that is also a support from the government, my respected students, right? So subsidy will be there. Some form of subsidy will come to them in order to go about and construct a house. Next rule. When the ninth from Mars is getting into a Bala, the same which applies for the fifth from Mars would be applicable. Would be applicable. So whenever you see a horoscope, the 5th from Mars or the 9th from Mars getting into a strength, okay, you will get government support. You will get something to do with, a government subsidy, government assistance to build property. You will live in quarters. There are people who take lease from the government. They will take lease of a property for 99 years. All of them will come under this category. Those who live or those who buy land or live in temple properties, they also come under this category. Those who have the 4th bhava afflicted, what happens to them? The 4th from Mars afflicted, these are the ones, you have the government which comes and takes their land away, telling that, we have to extend the road, we have to extend this place. All of that happens. Next. Now we are discussing just about Bala. We are not getting into Balavinam. Just giving you a hint. Next. When the 6th from Mars, gets into a Bala, which means you see where Mars is in the horoscope. Kuja Bhagavan is there in the horoscope. From there, go to 6th. And if the 6th is getting into a Bala, they will have rental income. When the 6th from Mars is getting into a Bala, then they will have rental income. Some rental income will be there. Whether a rental income owing to property or a rental income owing to vehicle, this rental income in one of these departments will be there. Next. When the 7th from Mars, gets into a Bala, they will have joint documents. Joint documents means what? Document registered in 2 names. Documents registered in 2 names, and will get settlement properties. You have properties which you get as a settlement from a family member. They will get that. This is what they are ordained for. One, either they will have property which has joint ownership, joint documents will be there, or they will have a settlement which is called as dhana settlement. Somebody would give them a property on settlement, and this will be there. Write down, those who get property as settlement and those who give property as settlement come under this category. So if you find the 7th from Mars is getting into a Bala, these are the people who will get also in settlement, or these are the people who will also go and give the property also as a settlement. Somebody would have given them a property as a settlement, or what they would do, they would give the property as a dhana or a settlement to somebody. Next. When the 8th from Mars is getting into a... Yes, ma'am. Go ahead, ma'am. Jyoti, ma'am, go ahead. Amitesh, you had a question? Jyoti, ma'am, go ahead.
This is bang on my brother. My brother has this combination and he has this joint property and it's perfectly blending.
Good. While I'm sharing, you can also tell in your case also. Amitesh, you have a question here pertaining to what we are discussing, or was it previous? If it's previous, I will give it to
that was previous. I think
okay,
I can ask them later.
Yes. Now, as we are going, all of you can interrupt. One, in order to go about and ask doubts, only interrupt pertaining to this. Else you can also share. Yes, sir, this point is right for me. Right? So that you could encourage others also. Otherwise, it will be like a still night for everybody. So once you share This happens, sir. This happens, sir. Everybody would be encouraged. I will also be encouraged. I will give you 4-5 points extra. When
So on sharing, when you were giving us an example of 4th from Sun and 8th from Sun afflicted, which leads to heart surgery. I have an example of a person who underwent a bypass heart surgery recently. So that was perfect.
right. Sapna ma'am, good, good. Not good literally, good that you got the prediction. Vanakkam. Go ahead. Yes, sir.
This prediction regarding 6th from Mars having rental income, this is true, Aya.
Okay, very good. In your case, Aya?
Just to follow, yeah, in my case, follow-up question is, will it all these predictions, what you mentioned about Mars, it will also be true when it is combust?
Yes, it will be combust. But the ability to enjoy it will be delayed to a certain extent or won't be able to enjoy it completely.
Okay.
Surajay, go ahead, Aya.
Sir, what is this when 5th from Mars is getting into Bala? So means that any Shubh in that Bhava or
any Shubha Graha in that Bhava, Aya, any Shubha Graha in the 5th from Mars. You have Mars in the horoscope, Aya. From there you count 5, the 5th Bhava from Mars, not from your Lagna. There, if you see Guru, Guru Bhagwan.
So what
or
if we? So what if 4th from Mars and 4th and 5th from Mars both are having the Shubha Graha?
Good, very good, very good, very good.
Okay, okay, sir. So that will be means more property.
Yes, sir. The 5th means what? More properties.
Okay, okay, sir. Okay, sir. Thank
Sir, 6th from Mars getting into a Bala. This is true with regards to my daughter. Daughter, sir.
Very good. Very good. Okay, ma'am. Sheila, ma'am, go ahead, ma'am. Good.
Sir, we were discussing the 4th. Sorry if I sound stupid. We were discussing the 4th house, and we are moving into Mars and 4th, 5th from Mars.
No, it's not a stupid question, ma'am. It's a valid question. See, we are discussing about the 4th Bhava. Where did we start? 4th Bhava indicates what? 4th Bhava indicates your mind. 4th Bhava indicates your beauty. 4th Bhava indicates property. So now what are we doing? We have to connect with the Bhava, with the Graha. That is prediction.
Okay.
And immediately I'm introducing all of you into the higher sessions, which will happen. So this is a glimpse. But I should not make you wait till 1 year. This is how we get into the Upavidhi. See, 4th is strong in my horoscope, ma'am. What does it mean? Does it mean that I get affection from my mother? Does it mean I get property? Does it mean I get land? What does it mean? So now we need to get into what? No, get into the nitty-gritties. This is what we are doing. So you need to link the Bhava and the Karakatwa. Not every Graha. What is connected with the 4th Bhava? Do you get it, man? We discussed about beauty. So what do you mean by beauty? Who's beautiful in the family? Am I beautiful? Lagna Lord in the 4th Bhava. Who's beautiful? Sheila ma'am, who's beautiful?
I'm beautiful. Lagna is into the 4th house.
Who will be beautiful?
The native.
4th Bhava Lord in the Lagna. Now who's beautiful, ma'am?
4th Bhava Lord in the Lagna.
Mother will... I'm 4th Bhava Lord in the Lagna. Lagna is me. The 4th Bhava Lord in the Lagna. Who's beautiful?
The Lagna, the native, sir. Because
so like this. Yeah. So this is beauty. Now we have gotten into property because we discussed property. Amit Mozaya, go ahead.
Sir, I have a doubt. If 4th from Sun we are seeing, and that 4th is one of the houses of 6 or 8 or 12, that means that the house is weak, right?
Sun. What did we talk about Sun from what perspective?
4th from Sun with respect to health. 4th or 8th from Sun with respect to heart.
No. Heart. Correct. You're correct. Okay. Then go ahead.
For example, there is a native who has Sun in the 9th house. So 4th from Sun becomes 12th house. So even if there is no malefic association, to the 12th house, but by itself it
Yeah,
is a
why are you
Dushtana
going to
house.
12th house? See, when you're looking at the Graha, consider that as a Bhava. We are discussing about the fourth Bhava. With respect to the fourth Bhava, we have gotten into the Upavidhi of Sun. Am I correct? Sun becomes the Lagna. Now, don't look at from Lagna, it is 12th. From Sun, which is the fourth. Check. Okay. In the fourth from Sun, if there is a Shubha Graha, if there is no if there is a Shubha Graha or no Ashubha Graha, leave it. Why are you bothering it? Don't bother it. What I'm telling is for people who have heart issues, right? Just stick to the topic, please. Fourth from Sun, if he is occupied by a malefic. Again, malefic means what? Natural malefic. Aspected by a malefic. It does not only mean malefic. I've given you umpteen ways to look at malefic. What is it? Tithi Shunya, Mandi, Badaga, right? Neecha Graha. I've given you an example there also using a Neecha Graha. Immediately you say, heart problem is there. You will be under medication. Fourth is also afflicted. Eighth is also afflicted from Sun. Now what should you tell? Surgery is also there. Put medical insurance and be ready. That's all. Okay. Do you get the logic, Aya? Clear?
Yes, sir. Yes.
Aya, don't rush advance anywhere. Okay. Just be there. Because if you rush a little further, it will disturb you. Sheila ma'am, you have a question? Go ahead. Sheila ma'am. Sheila ma'am, you've raised your hands. I don't know if you want to ask a question or... Okay. Sapna ma'am.
Sir?
Yes.
Sir, if the fourth house is Vrichika, that is, I'm sorry, Mars is in Vrichika, the thing will be, the fourth house will be Kumbha, isn't it?
Right.
And Kumbha Lord is Shani. Shani is debilitated. In this case, what can we say in this case?
It is weak, ma'am. Yeah, it is weak.
It's weak, no?
But the fourth house is, you're telling there is Mars in Vrishchika, ma'am?
Mars is in Vrichika along with Ketu.
Okay. So it is weak. Right. Okay. So you should be careful when it comes to property matters. Okay. You should just understand the logic, ma'am. You will get the clarity. Right?
Yes.
Now we are talking about Bala. We have not reached Balavina. Respected students, just stick on with the topic. The idea to allow you to ask questions is, parallelly as we are discussing, you can share your insights and you can ask your questions pertaining to that. Sheila ma'am, if you have a question, go ahead. Sapna ma'am, if you have a question, go ahead.
Yeah, Vanakkam Ayya.
Vanakkam Ayya.
Fourth from Sun is Makara Rashi, and Makara Rashi Lord, it's an empty sign, and the Lord is sitting in Rishabh Rashi, it's retrograde. Saturn and Jupiter and Moon, there are 3 grahas. 2 of them are retrograde. So does it indicate this heart ailments and heart surgery as you mentioned?
I have fourth from
Sun is Makara Rashi. The Lord of Makara Rashi, it is an empty Rashi. There is no planet there. But the Bhava Adipati is in the Rishabh Rashi together with Jupiter and Moon.
It will create problems.
Jupiter and Saturn are retrograde.
It will create problems. You should tell the person to be careful.
Okay.
All right. Durgesh ma'am, go ahead, ma'am.
So when Mangal is in Leo Rashi, so it will aspect Vrishchik. So here it is looking at its own bhava. So then that means the malefic aspect will not be counted and we will look at it as a benefic.
Malefic is there, ma'am. But when we are talking about aspects, when we are talking about a graha aspecting its own Rashi, it gives strength. So you're right, it will give strength. Good.
But maybe there will be associated some problem associated because the nature of Mars is malefic.
No, very little. Because always keep in mind this rule: when a graha aspects its own signs, it attains strength. Of course, considering the malefic influences of Mars, yes, it will be there. But since it is the fourth aspect and since we are discussing properties specifically, there won't be a problem. Do you get it, ma'am?
Yes. Thank you so much.
Yeah. You're talking about property only, ma'am, hopefully.
Yes, yes, yes.
So if it is property, there is not much of a problem, right?
Okay.
So I will tell you when to actually modify the rules. And I've been telling you this any which ways, all of you. Okay, let's continue. Sapna ma'am, again, a question. Okay, I'm muting all of you. All of you write the points, right? Next. So when the 8th from Mars gets into a Bala, we are discussing Bala here. So don't get into Balavina now. When the 8th from Mars is getting into a strength, then they will have inherited property. Inheritance. Property is inheritance. Endowments. Bequest property. All this means the same. Inheritance. Kama, which means or. Here this kama is or. Benami property. Kama, which is or. Quarry. Quarry. Kama, or. Kama, or. Big buildings. What are big buildings? Lodges, apartments will be there. Right? So when you see Mars, the 8th from Mars is getting into an exaltation. The 8th from Mars is in its own sign, aspected by a Shubha Graha, then immediately you should come to a conclusion. Okay, big man, big lady, big property, ancestral bequest property, inheritance basically. Basically, we are referring to something that you have not put your effort in order to. So suddenly when you see people who become rich, and this has happened, this usually happens in the cities, the big cities, where this IT revolution started, places like Bengaluru, Hyderabad. You would have seen people in the outskirts of Bengaluru, outskirts of Hyderabad. Suddenly they would have inherited land, and suddenly they would have become rich. Suddenly some people get Benami property. This is what will be there for them. So when the 8th from Mars is getting into a strength, it is good. From what context? From the context that we are discussing. Next. See here, always keep this in mind. Now you may ask me this question, sir, why is it that you're telling look at the 4th from Mars, look at the 5th from Mars, 6th from Mars, 7th from Mars, right? Here, your Lagna it gives you a certain view. It gives you a certain overview of your horoscope. And this is something everybody is predicting. No, you don't have to come to me to learn all of that. That anybody can predict. Lagna Lord here, Lagna Lord there, 4th Bhava Lord here, 4th Bhava Lord there. That is generic prediction. In this what? That you also need to get into predicting. So I'm introducing you to that. And that is also very, very important when you go on to the deeper layerings of the horoscope. That is important. But when you consider the deeper layerings of the horoscope, what is important? It is the Graha. If you call Mars the Graha, which indicates property, from there, when you start going and predicting, considering that as a Lagna, you will get a proper structure. And this is where you get immediately into advanced Jyotisha. And you will be able to predict. You will be able to go about and do wonders using this. Right? And that is the reason I am following a proper process. Step by step, I am taking you. Not, because a lot of people do this. They just teach you what comes to their mind. Today, they will perhaps, have a fascination towards something. They will teach you that. Then tomorrow they will have a fascination towards something, they will teach you that. So 1 year you will learn Nadi, the next year you will learn KP, then after that, somebody will learn Gemini. You will just vomit things. But this is a proper structure. This is indeed the only right structure that should be taught. And I'm teaching you that way, step by step. And I wish and I want all astrologers to follow this. Because once you go step by step, you will predict like a mighty elephant. You will be mighty as an elephant. There is no two ways about it. But the only problem with the mighty elephant is when this mighty elephant falls, no, it does not get up. So whenever one small thing does not work, that time you don't be an elephant. That time you be a horse. Immediately you get up. What is the rule? Why it did not work out? You should analyze. And I'm always there to support you, right? So keep this in mind. You're being taught ways to predict from a point-driven fashion. And at the same time, I'm also teaching you all to contemplate upon. Isn't it happening parallelly? Yes or no, all of you? All of you?
Yes, sir. Yes,
So
sir.
all of
Yes,
you
sir.
should realize why. Now, why is it that I'm taking Mars? Because the fourth Bhava. Who's Mars? He is the Karaka Graha for property. So from Mars. This is how it should be. Next. When the fourth Bhava Lord, see, always keep this in mind. The fourth Bhava indicates property. The moment you are ideally referring to property, land, that is fourth Bhava. Let us say somebody wants to buy a constructed property. I want to buy a built house. I don't want to buy land, invest in land, construct a house. Then don't look at the fourth Bhava. Then look into the fifth Bhava. So when we are referring to property as such, when we are referring to your land, property, all of this has to be looked at from Mars. Here, what did we do? The fourth from Mars, the fifth from Mars. The ninth is the same as the fifth from Mars. It is good. Sixth, seventh, eighth. Next. When the 10th from Mars, when the 10th from Mars is getting into a bala, then this person